Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to another exciting Monday night community race here on the Free Enterprise channel. My name's Vitasia. I'm joined on the mic today by my good friend Garen. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well, Vitasia, and hope you're doing well tonight as well.
Absolutely. We have kind of an interesting flag set here, an homage to Final Fantasy One, if you will, or Final Fantasy Two. It's limited class, and all the objectives are boss hunts and kill all the four fiends, and there you go. It's supposed to be kind of an interesting, quick flag set with just some boss hunts here going.
Yep, we have the six possible elemental boss fights, and then we have to just unlock the pass door. And in this particular flag set, our pass is going to be found in the shops. So our runners going to have to go hunting for that pass in all the various shops and hope it's somewhere early on.
Absolutely. And then with all the other boss hunts, it is for all the key items, it is just K main and K trap. So doing those extra self boss checks, I mean, worthwhile to at least, peek to see if any of our elemental bosses are located there. But otherwise, it's just find your bosses and you're good to go. Um, Otherwise, here we are off to the races. Scarcerer, Plumeria Knight, and Rybon all running. We have duplicate edges to get things rolling here.
With an ice brand. And as far as the boss hunts go, we actually have B Vanilla on, so the runners already know where the bosses are. It's just a case of getting the key items to get to them.
Okay, so we have Mylan and Mylan Z, which are going to be in their vanilla spots and early accessible. Kinyatsu then is locked behind the Baron Key. Vivalis is locked behind the Earth Crystal. Rubicant locked behind the Hook, and just the Hook. And then Elements is, of course, in its vanilla location on the Giant.
Yes, and because the Vanilla Giant is on, you can't just simply go in there, get the elements, and walk out. You gotta go through the CPU as well and get out of the Giant. Not
And
the CPU will be a challenge there, but
yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, we have two ninjas already. We do have Neki on, so we have a couple, poison claws here, trying to maximize it. We do see a Tella that's located in the in Dancy in there, so the free character spots are on as well.
yep, there's only the 7 characters available, but you can build your team hopefully before you ever really start doing your checks if you want to. Tella's good for exit in this flag set, and what the runners are really looking for is something for Edge to basically throw at people. Unfortunately, a lot of the good dupe weapons are spears. We don't have a cane around, though, to actually equip and dupe them.
Unfortunately not. You are seeing Scarcerer over here trying to dupe these poison claws. More than anything, just to try to get some extra money and just some equipment for him at this point in time. So we will have a nice large stack of poison claws to be able to sell for extra money on Scarcerer. So no one else has really done any of the duplications up to this point in time.
Alright, and our shops tonight are actually shuffled along with our treasure chests, which means that in the item shops, you're going to see a lot of lights, cabins, camping gear, all the rest of that stuff, because it was in most of the shops in Vanilla, and it's going to be in most of the shops here. And then treasures, you're going to see a lot of Cure 1s and junk that were in the original game, because, like to give you that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we are going to be incredibly limited normally from what we see. We're used to seeing crystal swords lying around, drain spears, being able to dart those all over the place. Still probably going to find some decent darts. There's a ninja hat there that I saw Rybon picking up in that looks like the Pauper's Treasury there in Troya.
We have Plumeria taking on the Vanilla Gauntlet, because with the Edge, the flame is there to easily AoE all these down. It's white mages in the city of tonight, Rosa and Horum both.
Hey, you mean we have 2 edges and then 2 casters of Berserk immediately after that? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Maybe we'll get a jet for a change.
Now, this isn't Mom Spaghetti Club.
Well, hopefully this is already gonna last longer than the 9 minutes it took to run last week's race.
Only you, sir. Only you with your first place win on that one.
I got it done once, and that's enough.
Meanwhile, Plumeria Knight still working his way through that vanilla gauntlet. And it's interesting because it's not the alt gauntlet, it is the original gauntlet fights with the single gargoyle and then the it was always weird to me, the original gauntlet fight where yeah, this army is invading with monsters. Like that should have been the first hint that maybe there's shenanigans going on in the world. Other than the things like genocide that Baron was committing.
It's hard to tell. I mean, apparently these people were a bit closer with monsters. I mean, figured the mist people were calling them, and it's not like everybody looked at the Fey March and was like, "What is this?" Who knows?
It does look like Plumeria is trying to do some sort of organization of his inventory, trying to maybe set up that duplication glitch here afterwards as well.
Also, keeping Tello down as a possible anchor for Z later on. We only get 4 party members, so taking up one for an anchor is a bit of an anchor, so to speak, but might make the Z fight a little bit better organized.
And just an apple there from clearing that out, so that was a lot, not even really good experience, but because we have 2 edges, unfortunately, so not a lot going on there, unfortunately.
Nope. Rybon found a black shirt in the armor shop over here in Aggert, but that's not terribly useful.
Scarcer, meanwhile, finds a resident black mage up on his way up Mount Ordeals and says, yeah, I'm going to take the superior twin, much to Porum fans' chagrin everywhere.
Yeah, but there's 2 ways to approach this. You can either go with a lot of power for overwhelming, or you can go with taking more of the white mage heal berserk method of doing things. And as we saw in the previous community race, there was quite a different approach to party building and to approaching these things.
I mean, with double edges, it kind of takes care of all of your power that you need early game. And with duplication glitch on, it just means, hey, we're going to make this super easy on us. We did see, looks like dancing daggers available. Scarcer picked up 4 of them. Plus flame. So other than that, and he is not quite sure. It looks like maybe he's setting up some duplications here.
Meanwhile, Plumeria has found a party rock in the Antlion Caves. Now we'll get access to that treasury, maybe, hopefully, a good dart. Also has access to Valvalis now.
That early Earth Crystal, I'm excited to see what's going to be in this treasury. If you're sub 10 minutes and you find an early Earth Crystal, you do the Troya treasury. That just seems to be one of the always checks that you do this early.
Yes, although with T-Shuffle on, you're hoping for at least 1 or 2 good things in this treasury, I think. I wouldn't really expect this to be a overwhelming treasury, but we'll see what comes up. Charm arrows for sale over here in Troya. Rybon takes a save.
Scarcer does get through the first Mylan fight, although Palom does take a death, so will not get some of that good experience on him. Experience on Palom, of course, incredibly important. Early Quake Kid feels like a cheat code sometimes.
Yep, meanwhile, Palom has been left down for this fight. The Magma Key is Bedward, as Plumeria is finding out, and as Rybon already did. And we are going to get a treasury rating.
Rybon did his duplication glitch, picked up a stack of shurikens there, so he is going to be good to go on his throwables for a little bit.
Okay, Scarcer is through the Mylon Z.
All right, here we go with Rate That Treasury.
That's kind of
Oh
disappointing.
my gosh. That might have been the most disappointing treasury I've ever seen. The
That was
tiara
that
was
was
the
that was,
only good thing that I saw.
and you don't have Rydia in this flag set anyways. So I would call that junk out of 10.
You are more generous than I am when it comes to that. Legend
Hey,
Sword, and so some extra vanilla there.
yep, vanilla legend sword here in the Mount Ordeals. That might give something useful, or it might not, because we have the Super Smith on tonight, I believe. So what you get may not be an X scale or anything duplicated. Or you can duplicate it. Alright, so Plumer is going to turn in the Magma Key and go underground. Rybon is looking for anything useful in the Feymarch.
On one hand, I can appreciate and like that Scarcerer is doing kind of the tried and true, do your objectives sort of following. We're going through, we're doing the objectives, trying to see if he can spike an early magma key or anything else by doing his objectives, and then going to be following up afterwards with, the other normal checks that everyone else has already done. So it looks like he might be the last one underground, but he's the first one through all of these, this early Mylan and Mylan Z fight here.
Ooh,
So
Hanzo Steel
it's been a
for
trade-off.
Rybon in the Feymarch freebie. That would be excellent to dupe for in his case.
And I mean, I believe the Hanzo Steel is throwable as well, isn't it?
Yes, Murasame and Murasame are both tossable, and yeah, I mean, it won't be as great as, for example, having an X scale, but it's still going to be serviceable here for most of the early and mid game. And, Edge can then be berserked and do very bad damage with those too. We've got some elixirs
just
and a
details.
moon veil. So that's really good if there's a punchy spot up here, but because the vanilla is on, we don't have a lot of bosses with crazy things where it's like they're just designed to kill you, because we're getting what the developers intended here in this case, and not the it's a spot that never uses a physical attack and has 255 attack power or something like that.
All right, in the meantime, yep, Scarcerer playing catch up with this ant line here.
Yeah, we'll find, I believe, his Earth Crystal from this.
I will say at this point in time, I don't know if I agree with using the Dancing Dagger as an item. I think Edge can swing harder than by just swinging at this point.
Well, even Flame might be but comparable. I mean, try to get the lowest amount of frames, I guess, or quickest number of actions here. All right. Rybon's gonna go check Sheila 1. This is a check that, personally, I often forget to make early on if I don't have a pan. With a little stopover in Silvira, looking for a pass, probably. And not much good hiding in the bushes today.
Scarcer looks like, yeah, he found that Earth crystal and said, "Yeah, let's immediately go turn this in." And
Well,
Scarcer,
he's going to take a detour to the poorest treasury in the world. At this point, the Troy rulers should just have let it be robbed anyways and filed the insurance claim because this really is pathetic.
in the meantime, Rybon did find the pass in the item shop. It is in Silvera, of all places, so a little bit out of the way, but good to know.
Not as bad as Kaipo when you realize that it's like, oh yeah, I never went there because there's no really need to check the bed. With G dupe on, I was really looking for a Cecil and hopefully a holy sword like an X-Kale to give him.
I was going to say, with G dupe on, one of the negatives about having multiple edges is the fact that he requires a lot of equipment really to get going. And with G dupe on, we've now taken care of that just with the single Murasame, and now we have 4 plus a lot of things to sell. So honestly, with dupe edges, I think he's the one who benefits the most from dupes.
Yeah, even if you don't like Cecil, you'd like to take him first a minute to dupe the X-Kale if it shows up, and then give that to Edge, and then you can eat Cecil once he's done that.
I mean, Cecil is just powerful anyway. So I guess I'm like, the way the question was phrased, who benefits the most from the dupe flag? Like, Cecil will always be good, and I will always accept a Holy Sword or an X-Gal or anything like that. But
I think he
who,
was actually,
like,
yeah, I was interpreting it as more personal preference in terms of what you want to take. I mean, some people would prefer not to take Cecil if they have the choice. I mean, on our community race on Friday night, we actually had at one point on stream, someone had 1 edge, someone had 2 edges, someone had 3 edges, someone had 4 edges.
sounds like, your average Panic at the Disco concert. All the edgies.
Well, it just means we averaged 2.5 edges, which, which half of edge we got for that second half one, who knows?
Meanwhile, we see Scarcer now completing the loop and turning in the Magma Key. Plumeria Knight running up the mountain to complete the Mylon fights, and Rybon is going to get the bad news here directly. Did set up the 2 first, so at least is trying to do his best to make this an efficient check up in Fabul. It will unfortunately not be so great for the first half since we know it is just an apple.
Yeah, I mean, Scarcer hasn't been there yet. He's probably hoping he finds the pan first, so he doesn't have to worry about the double or triple Fabul dip. And that's what our job dwarf was. Oh, civil engineer. There we go.
An incredibly important job. See how well maintained those roads are in Tamra.
They don't have cars in Tamra.
Just because they don't have cars or trucks doesn't mean that they don't need roads and walking paths. Civil engineers do that as well.
But they also don't have winter that's, causing all of the freeze-thaw effects that make so many roads in the Northeast such a joy to drive down.
Hey. People in Florida and Hawaii need roads too, just because there's no winter.
Scarcer finds out that there's just a whistle in this item shop, so pass hunt will continue for him.
Rybon on his way up. First thing that Sheila gives us. So Sheila 1. This is a new check that we've not seen. Hey, that's a required key item.
Alright, so once again, checking Sheila 1 turns out to be a good play. especially if his Baron he has to be holding a pan, because people like you would try to get the pan first. He'll basically last locationless then.
So here's the interesting thing. We already have been able to kill Mylan and Mylan Z. We have access to kill Vivalas and now Kenyatta. All we need is a hook for Rubicon and a Darkness Crystal for Elements. We've also already found the pass. We are less than 20 minutes into the seed, and we are 2 items from go mode.
Yep, and we already have access to a grind because with Tella, I mean, D money is on the table as soon as that Darkness Crystal shows up.
I hate to say it, and I hate looking at it that way, but it's true. With that D machine grind, we haven't seen. I mean, sirens aren't going to be available in any shop, and that's going to be probably the fastest way for us to grind at this point.
It is possible to steal sirens from the trap chests in Babel. On the previous community race, we actually had 3 out of 4 racers on stream chose to do sirens, and only 1 did the D money. We'll see if we
do
ever
have 2 edges, so that might be the more efficient play.
Yeah, you can steal twice per turn cycle.
Plumeria Knight is going to be the first one over here to do Ebland Castle. Going to show us it is vanilla trap chest from the looks of it, and says, here's what we're going to do to make this as quick as we can.
Yep, and hoping maybe to pop something good out of these trap chests. You see that Rybon has gotten through Mylan a lot faster by darting a whole bunch of Hanzo Steel at it.
Absolutely. A little bit scary there, that fight for Plumeria Knight, but does get through it.
And the payoff, a pigtail. I do believe adamant armors are on, so that could be a nice help.
I imagine that will be a nice help once we get that hook. I mean, that just makes everything a little bit easier.
Yep, and if Cecil happens to show up, we could have the Burman online. You see the Calbrea dolls in Dwarf Castle with a bit of a color swap because of Golbez down there. Lumari's gotten the second trap chest down, gets a rat tail. Okay, so two tails the price of 1 here.
I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. The only thing that can make me any happier is if these ogres had the hook, where it would have it just everything lined up for me right away.
A bit of a miscalculation on Scarcer's side. He gets the Calbrea doll up there.
Yeah, Tread D is a bomb item. Bomb is just Fire 1, unfortunately. Not much attack or magic attack power with that.
Now, and unfortunately, Palom goes down, so it is looking like might not get the experience here anymore either. Rybon is giving us a peek at the Baron Inn. We've got Palom here again with the having a drink with the guards.
Flame should be pretty quick to take those guards out. They are relatively weak.
Yep. Yang won't be too much of a hassle. There's no Cecil, but we do have lots of Hanzo Steel to just eat it, the Karate Man, and unfortunately, Yang did not learn how to dodge ninja swords over in his training.
I mean, if you can dodge Hanzo Steel, you can dodge a ball.
They don't have dodgeball here in the world of Free Enterprise either, sadly.
Says you.
If it isn't on video, it didn't happen.
I'm not going to spoil anything. In the meantime, Rybon is going in and says, yeah, we're going to combo. Says, yeah, we're going Baron in, right into Baron Castle, which makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, Scarcer really, I mean, is already kind of set up for this Golbez fight. Should be pretty quick. Flammarian Knight is going up immediately the tower as well. So a couple of turn-ins being done that we have not yet seen. Both Flammarian Knight and Rybon making the checks on their side.
I mean, this makes sense for Rybon to do your objectives, and, you know, if there's a key item possibility, you might get the one you need out of this.
It is nice to see, because we had a lot of the world open up to us, so it is, and with all the power that we had between the Hanzo Steel and being able to dupe and then sell off some dupes for infinite money effectively, we have all the power we could possibly want in this particular seed right now. I mean, it depends on the spot. I think there are places that you could survive at Globe 99.
If you're at a Highland level, perhaps, yeah. And just an elixir from the Dwarf Castle, and Scarcer unfortunately does not have warp on Palom, since Palom's been dead a lot of the time on his end, so cannot get the warp glitch off here.
That will be interesting to see how buried, both the Luca key ends up being, and if someone does come back with a warp caster and something interesting is there, such as the hook or the darkness crystal, then that would be very unfortunate for Scarcer.
This is one of those things where if you see Tella, it's good to maybe keep him around, just at least till the Dwarf Castle is done, because Tella, as long as you've done her deals, will have warp.
He'll have a lot of stuff, just not like the fun stuff, like Quake.
And we see that Rosa is the first character in the Tower of Zot.
Oh boy, Rybon found the man.
At least you found one copy of the man, but says no to Cecil.
Now I got Hanzo Steel wielding Edge, a Tella that looks like he's going to be keeping around for that, for the leveling, as you had alluded to. That's the only reason I can think of. Plus,
okay, Rybon turned a Chocobo to stone to try and save himself there. That's really totally inappropriate.
Boko, no!
And on Flammaria's side, oh boy, Rybon just found the Darkness Crystal. So...
What's that? We're immediately going to be doing the...
We're going to be doing D1 now, I have a feeling.
Immediately, yeah.
So we can probably leave Rybon to the side for a few minutes and focus on Scarcer and Plumeria's streams for a bit. On
Well,
Plumeria's
not
side, we did see the Rosa had tied up the Palom, so apparently she was sick of his pranks too.
this raises an interesting point because I know we have the ability to set up, do kind of the step manipulation so that we can get the D machine grind immediately. That said, it's also K trap. So my question is, will opening that trap chest mess with the step count at all?
I believe my recollection is that it would if you were to try to set it up first, but if I was going to do this, I would set up the manipulation first, do the D money, and then go back to the trap chest because you know where it is.
Yeah, true. And it would be a lot easier after the levels as well.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, it's one of the closest chests to your save points. I mean, it's not going to be that far away to go back to it.
Well, Rybon didn't even do the step setup. He's YOLOing his way there right now.
But probably figures he can get the fight that he needs within a couple tries. So we'll just save it, reset it, and then, take it from there. Does mean he can take the trap chest first if he so chooses.
It does look like both Plumeria Knight and Scarcer actually have both the Adamant Rock and the Legend Sword.
I believe the Adamant was from the trap chest in the Tower of Zod, if I recall right.
Okay. And then there's also the pan that apparently looks like it's coming from the Tower of Zod as well.
Which Scarso will like to see that because he has not been to Fabul yet. I think there's single dip all three checks. We find a spoon in the town of Baron, so that's a nice dart for Edge once upon a time. Okay, Rybon took a save here, so he's stuck in the giant until he gets out because in this flag set, we have Vanilla Giant on. You can't leave. Mary is going to show us what the forge is first on stream. Rybon must not have gotten what he wanted off the step count, so he's resetting it again. Not the fight you wanted to see. The Forge tonight is an Ashura rod. That's good for the Palom, I think.
Palom and Tella?
Yeah, you probably want to put on Tella, though, given his stats kind of stink.
Yeah, definitely, it's still a great stat stick. Love to have it.
Yeah, actually, you can dupe it if you want to give Tella the stat stick. I mean, that's totally fine. Looks like Rybon has found his D-Money fight, and we'll be spending the next few minutes taking care of that.
Now, that is someone who has done the D Machine fight many times in his life, knows that you're going through lots and lots of cycles with it. One of the few times that casting fast is actually beneficial, making it so that your Tella can keep up a little bit.
Oh, fast on Tella, slow on Edge.
It's real easy otherwise with this particular party setup for the parties to get misaligned and the turn order starts becoming a little bit messed up. So setting those up really does help make this D Machine grind go much, much smoother.
Barry takes a trip down here to Troya, if you can see what's in the shops. There's a tiara again to laugh at you, which was in the treasury. Okay, Plumeria will be off to Sheila to turn in the pan. And but Sheila 1's got the goods, it's a Sheila 2. And Baron Key and oh, Sheila's got the goods tonight for sure.
Oh boy, Sheila. So that hook is our access to Rubicon. We're in no mode, everyone. At 35 minutes, we have the seed solved.
Yeah, and really, I mean, for Rybon, even though he doesn't have the pan yet, and doesn't have the Earth Crystal, I mean, from Rybon's side, he's got to remember that he has to go back to, I believe, the Antlion Cave, pick up that Earth Crystal. That's what he needs to go and find. Plumeria is going to turn in these tails and get his adamant armor, and we'll also get a item check off the rat tail.
Don't forget that adamant armor as well. That's so nice.
And we get a twin harp. So that's a bit of a troll from the seed. You don't already have all of your key items in place. Do you chase that harp? We know that tonight that is not the play to make, but we'll see if one of our runners decides to try it. Oh, and goes into the Silvira place. He's going to find the pass. There's one more thing down on Plumeria's list of things to do.
I think Plumeria has everything that he needs.
Just needs the Darkness Crystal.
Okay, that's okay. So Darkness Crystal, yeah.
He will get it as soon as he does Baron, so as long as he follows the advice of do your objectives, he will find it in very short order. And it looks like he's going to follow the tried and true advice of do your objectives. So we'll find his Darkness Crystal very shortly, and we'll be off to the races. Gives the Adamant Armor to Rosa. So, Murder Mage online.
That is interesting, putting the Adamant on Rosa. Like, okay, I on one hand, there is a logic to playing it safe, to knowing that your white mage will be able to res anyone she needs to, because she's not dying.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if you want to get Berserk off on one of the edges to start things off with, I mean, that's pretty much going to ensure that Berserk is up first. Darcer is taking the Warrior chest down here in the Feymarch. This is often a chest that has something of value, not so much today.
It is worth noting that Rybon is doing this particular grind. It looks like he's finishing up right now. And knocking his Tella over, so that will be keeping that. But done the grind, but had to take some extra time to do it because kind of low on key items. Plumeria Knight has the 10 key items at this point in time for the double experience, so when he gets to that point, Plumeria Knight will have a considerably shorter grind to attend to.
I think Rybon's grind was about 6 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it wasn't overly long, and he did a great job of the setup, absolutely. But it was one of those things that, you know, he spent 6 7 minutes on it when you could spend 3 or 4. The other thing worth noting is that I don't think he didn't do a full grind, knowing that, hey, I just have to be able to survive doing these darts, being able to throw these darts because he has a lot of bosses that he's going to have to try to kill in the very immediate future, and those will still grant him quite a bit of experience as well.
Yeah, plus without having a black mage in the party, I mean, you don't have to get to insane levels. I mean, Rosa's already got all the levels she needs for her spell list. Uh, the edges can already pretty much survive an under Big Bang along with Rosa, so I mean, most of what the work is done. Does take the last arm chest just in case, because you don't want to forget this on the way out. Just has a Leviathan summon, which is totally worthless in this flag set.
Didn't even want to keep it. He's like, nah, I'm good.
That saves the 5 seconds to walk it back, you know. We'll slightly reorder the party, and we'll take on the elements. Maria says no to Cecil.
All this blasphemy. No one wants Cecil. I mean, I get it, but
Well, the thing is, we haven't found anything for Cecil to use yet. And you really want to go to a Holy Sword hunt when it's like you're already on something of a ticking timer with this boss hunt, because it's like there's no mystery of where the bosses are. And Flumeria already basically, well, he's going to be in go mode as soon as he gets this Darkness Crystal here.
yep. He knows that is go mode right now. Has Mylan Z, Kingatsu, Vivalis down. Has the keys to get Rubicant, Elements, and unlock the pass door. Surprise, surprise, he is not going to be setting up the Elements. Looks like he is going to be going up here, likely stealing the sirens from these eyeballs.
We can pretend they're London security cameras, I suppose.
Stealing sirens from the CCTV cameras.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's canonically accurate, because if you try to steal CCTV cameras, you're probably going to be hearing sirens very, very quickly.
You would think, but apparently it's a very serious problem over there these days. For reasons we don't get into on this stream. Anyways. Just a reminder, yes, P Vanilla is on this flag set, so there is no real surprise over what bosses are going to be where. The only real randomness is what key items they all really have in these check spots. And there's our flag set, just as a reminder. X Party 4, Treasures and Chops Shuffled, Vanilla Battles, also Vanilla Giant, Soya, who isn't in the seed anyways, and Trap Locations. Right, is just about finished with this Elements. Is on the last of the 4 phases.
Shoot through a whole lot of HP in this one, but that's kind of what you get in the Elements spot.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to get through it really any faster is to take a Mage and reflect, like if you had Palom, Fire 3, or Nuke or something like that, and then you only have to deal with the Mylon phase.
So Plumerian now, with his superior key item count and with those sirens, has come over. Looks like he only has like 6 or so total sirens, but lots of things to dart. So his grind is going to be quite a bit faster, and gaining 68,000 experience his edges and Rosa are all going to be quite high level when he's through this as well. We'll see
Yeah.
if he can catch up with or how he and Rybon are going to end up switching this off. He's got the objectives done and certainly has the key items. Just has to play catch up with getting through the giant.
Yep, and really, I mean, it shouldn't be that bad. I mean, I think he's going to get Rose up to Tier 4 with these 6 Sirens that he's got, and that should be totally fine. Because, I mean, with the adamant armor, you're not worried about Rosa tipping over at all. And there's the Cure 4. Will Plumeria cut it off now, or nope, gonna take the last couple. Rybon is finishing up the CPU, not really a challenge considering with all the darts. Arthur is in the Sylph Cave taking the trap chests. Unfortunately, as most of the cases, the Sylph Cave is a trap. Plumeria is done grinding, is going to steal some wine.
This is going to be Silk Web.
Oh, this is Silk Web. That's right. Okay, never mind. I got my things messed up there. Who's trying to steal something down here? All right, 1 Silk Web and out. Tella was trying to play with the Giant's machinery. It did not go well. And Tella has voided the warranty on the Giant.
Sure we can't get a refund?
As I'm often told, the refund machine is broken, and apparently the only person who can fix it is just not interested.
Darn. Maybe that'll be my first thing to work on. Okay. Anyway, Scarcer is in the process. Man, these Toad Ladies, this is just a gigantic time waster of a trap chest, unfortunately.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the whole Sylph Cave is going to be, because we know that there's nothing here that can really help out other than the experience and maybe a powerful item or two here somewhere.
Well, I get doing the Toad Lady chest, especially if all you're doing is trying to go down, do the Sylph check, and in order to turn in Sheila 1 and Sheila 2. It's a treasure chest that literally does no damage. It's just kind of annoying, and it's on your way down like an extra 10 steps or so. So I can understand absolutely doing it, but man, it feels bad.
And especially just for a Blizzard. I mean, the only thing that would have been more insulting would have been a Cure 1. Which those can be in the trap chest in this flag set, as it turns out. Ask me how I know.
Nope, not gonna. Meanwhile, Plumeria Knight is going to the Giant now, set up so that as soon as he finishes the Giant, can immediately just land the big whale and turn in the hook and do the hook route right there as well. So
Did he
really
pre-park
set that
the
up
airship
clean.
there?
Yeah, he pre-parked the airship.
All right, so very efficient routing here. Rybon is in the Eblin Castle doing the trap chest. He's going to find the 2 tails here. But unfortunately, if he decides to chase that Twin Harp that we know that the rat tail leads into, that's going to cost him quite some time.
Yep, we know at this point, because let's see, the Baron Key is what led to the darkness, but oh goodness, it was Sheila, wasn't it? It was Sheila.
But what Rybon is missing is he's missing the Earth Crystal from Antlion, which leads to the Tower of Zot, which leads to the Pan, which will lead to the Hook. So he's got quite a chain to go through.
Oh wow, okay, so he hasn't even done Antlion. Okay, yeah,
and
that
sometimes,
is a chain.
Sometimes when you fade Antlion, and if you commit to that fade, he's going to last location. I'm not sure if he's just committed to his fade, if he forgot about it, or if that's just simply he's taking a gamble that it's not there.
Antlion has become kind of a fade that a lot of runners will make until they have an easy exit that they can go. Although we've had exit for quite a while on Tella.
Oh no, this is not helpful for Ryban if he's going to check this Twin Harp. Oh, he doesn't have it yet. No, never mind.
Does not have it. No, he's gonna go check Flame Dog.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, it's an interesting play. I mean, you have to come back here anyways for Valvalis. Maybe he's hoping the Earth Crystal is in this trap chest.
This is how committed you are. If it's an antlion, if the answer is an antlion, you know you're in rough shape. Unfortunately, it's an antlion that leads to kind of a long chain, so you will eventually have to go there, Rybon.
Yeah, because unfortunately, this is all 7 objectives have to be done. There's no skipping anything. And Flumer, seeing the Fire 3 from this Rubicund, is saying, nope, that's enough of that, and is going to get rid of him for the Inazo phase next. Or maybe not. There we go. Gets away with avoiding the glare.
Very nicely done. Tella actually helping out. They used an Ice 3 that did quite a bit of damage there.
It looks like Rybon is not fully committed to the fate and is going to go check this antlion, and we'll find that his Earth Crystal is sitting here.
Wow, Plumeri and I getting the high roll, trying to kill off Tella, and Vivala's does him a solid. Kills off the Tella for him.
And just for the convenience, we're going to just grind Vivalis into dust here. So Rybon is going to go back and hopefully do the Earth Crystal first, and not the Twin Harp first. Yep, looks like he's going to take the Power of Zot because, again, do your objectives.
Yep, and I don't think he has the Twin Harp yet, right?
Oh, it's right, because he can't check the tails. He doesn't have the hook. Duh. Okay. One of the problems with no mode sometimes you forget that the runners don't have access to everything on every stream.
Oh no! Oh no! Plumeri and I, no!
Has forgotten this is Vanilla Giant.
This is Vanilla Giant. There is no leaving.
And has just realized that. And we'll have to go back to the CPU, which will cost him about maybe a minute or so of time here.
Let's, being realistic, that's a mistake that I think a lot of us have made, though. When we're so used to being able to exit the giant, not realizing, oh crap, I have to actually complete this. It's not something that you see every day, and if you're not used to it, it's easy to forget that.
Yeah, even though we do have the NPC remind you when you click to go to the giant, it's like, by the way, you can't exit here, are you sure? But, alright, so Rybon is through the Magus Sisters.
Plumeria should get through this CPU just about as fast. He's a slightly lower level than Rybon when he came through here.
Yep, and as long as at least one Mazer gets off, Tella will drop. There we go. Good work, old man.
we're doing about 2,500. So it's going to be about 8 or 9 darts, really. So that's 2.
No, pass is at the Elvira shop.
Silveri. Silvera.
However you want to pronounce it. It's that thing they named after the guy at Nintendo.
See, I just thought that it was because there's a silver mine there, like canonically, so it was Silvera, just silver.
If they had named it Adamantaria, I would think of that better, but you know.
That was retconned in after years. We all know that.
Alright, Pybon is through Vivalis. We'll get the pan. And as he chases the pan, he will then find the hook. He needs to go and kill this ruby. Mary is through the giant and will now be heading down to take out Ruby.
Scarcerer, the only one who picked up that Cecil, although worth noting, we have not seen any actual like holy swords up to this point in time. So I like the Cecil pickup, except for no weaponry.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, he hasn't grinded yet, so I mean, it makes a bit of sense. Maybe there's a bit of hope that you'll get a holy sword, but it is the one problem for Cecil and his flags that you gotta find something for him to actually wield. It's the Darkness Crystals. So Scarcer, I believe, now has everything that he needs to complete the seed.
Does as well. Rybon is going to find the hook here directly, but it is now a straight line race between Plumerionite and Rybon. Rybon's probably another 3 or 4 minutes behind Plumerionite. Still has a little, like just a couple turn-ins to do.
Yep, and it's
that's a tiny toad, of course.
It's as you say, it's on the way. It makes sense to check this if you're going down for the pan anyways. Unfortunately, this is going to waste about another minute of time, and all it's going to give him is a fairly useless at this stage of the game blizzard.
Going to be much, much faster, though, because of that flame that was able to sweep through all the toads.
Yes. I didn't realize that Scarcer had named his Tella pass. Unfortunately, Tella doesn't function as a pass. That would have been kind of fun. I don't think Scarcer does. I don't think he's been to Silvira yet.
I haven't seen Scarcer do that much shopping, honestly. Wondering if he's just opening key items, thinking the pass is still mixed into the key item pool as opposed to available in a shop, which is another flag set that, again, we don't see the purchase the pass flag turned on too often.
Yeah, and I just made that mistake within the last week myself, where I was running a seed that actually had P none on. I was looking for the pass. It's like, oh wait a minute, it ain't actually here. So Rybon is going to go to Sheila and is going to get the awesome news that he now has his access to Ruby. Alright, so
Okay.
Twin Edge will take out his parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad, you're in the way.
Scarcer hadn't done his grind yet, and it does look like he said, "Yeah, Cecil, sorry, you gotta go. I need Tella to be able to do my grind." I completely understand why. Looks like he is setting himself up to do the D Machine grind as well.
Rybon gets his adamant armor on the way to uh, launch the Falcon. So, okay, that was a good turn-in. You knew it had to be Iron Man, of course, so it makes sense to get this. Makes Z a little bit faster. Maria says this is a good place to use the spoon, get through this ruby as fast as possible. Oh, the 1 HP glare. You hate to see it.
Yeah, that was about perfect timing there on Ruby's part.
It would have been helpful if he'd actually decided to glare the old man down instead of making him virus himself to death. And Ruby is down. So that is going to be it for Plumeria. All he's doing now is just go back to Troya, turn in the pass, and get the crystal.
Worth noting, he had an Ice Claw equipped there. That elemental damage does a lot of work.
Does fall to the Pitfall boss. Pitfall boss is unfortunately undefeated in all of our races.
I cannot be the only one as a kid that tried to level up my Rosa to learn float, thinking that I could float over that trapdoor, right? Am I the only one who did that?
I'm sure you weren't the only one. And if you follow certain club lore, supposedly the Babel cafeteria is behind the door in the back of the crystal room.
Makes sense, that's where the cafeteria would be.
Yeah, someone's pointing out, if you have push speed to jump on, you can actually jump over that pit and get to the door in the back and find out that it isn't programmed right because the programmers never thought you'd actually get there. Okay, Adamant is coming off of Rosa, is going on to one of the edges. Ice Claw comes off, and we are off to the races. So, just over an hour in, we're going to be seeing some flags in chat, I believe.
You know, chat's been disappointing me with the Z flags recently. Oh, guys. We're a community. We all have our role to play. We talk about the seed. You guys, you know, prompt us to meme.
Hey, now we see some Z flags appearing in chat. So why don't you explain what this means, Vitasia?
Oh, why, thank you. So the Z flags in chat. What does that mean? Well, we're Final Fantasy IV randomizer, free enterprise. We're a randomizer community. We love to randomize things. We've randomized the harp song. We've randomized all different sorts of sprites, boss locations, everything that you can think of. The one thing we cannot randomize is Zero Must into the boss set pool because, you know, big bangs at the Antlion Cave just are no fun for anyone except for the audience. So what are we supposed to do when we want to randomize everything? Well, there are, you know, several hundred different Z sprites available for when you use the crystal for Zeromus to show his true colors. So that Z flag with a question mark is the community asking one very simple question. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
And a whole variety of side questions that we'll leave to the viewer's imagination, which will then come up with plenty of their own.
Yeah, there are a lot of secondary questions, but the big one is whose butt? What?
The Blancmas. I'm not quite sure where this butt comes from.
I mean, it looks fabulous, but I don't know. I might need some help here.
And Xeon Plumeria's screen helps out by knocking Tello over with the counter nuke. Excellent. That is one less thing to do.
Yep, at this point, it's let your zerked up edges do their thing, and just uh, Rosa can survive an unnerfed Big Bang, so you don't really even have to nerf it at this point. You just let the Big Bangs come in, heal them up when it comes in, and set your controller down.
Yep, so Rose will do Cure 4, and we might see another action input from Plumeria the rest of the way.
Looks like chat is saying Final Fantasy X-2 for LeBlancmas. So, okay. That is... I have a secret, chat. I never actually finished 10-2. That was one of those that every time I start it, I can't get through it. Because I'm a completionist at heart, and anything with the job system is just a huge time commitment for a completionist.
I won't even say anything about my completion of various things, so...
Meanwhile, Rybon is also on his way. Will be starting his Z-Fight very shortly. Don't know if he's going to have enough juice to catch up with Plumeria, but at least they're going to be in the same Z-Fight simultaneously.
See a second Big Bang get off on Plumeria's side. Rose has that Cure 4 queued up. Hopefully we will not see this shift into... Nope. No, so there's no rocks coming. We're through. And there's a black hole coming out. So Rosa will be resurking the edge.
At this point, I'm surprised we're just not tossing more darts, because getting the Zerks up might cost us more time. Here is rock.
Here's rocks. So this looks pretty safe for Plumeria at this point. And there's the Kraken Boom. GG.
Yep, GG to Plumeria, who does finish the community race in first place with a final time of 1:05.26. GG's to Plumeria Knight, winning it this evening's community race.
We'll see if Plumeria will come on in for an interview in just a moment here.
Meanwhile, it does look like Rybon is doing a... It's just about the same identical setup at this point in time. Looks like levels might be a little bit lower than Plumeria Knights, but not that much. Meanwhile, Scarsor is still finishing up his D-Machine grind. I'll just about finish that up entirely. Keeping Tella up, though.
Yep. Maybe like if you swapping the Tella out for somebody else now that the grind is done. I mean, that Cecil is still pretty low level. Could just swap it out. We'll make the anchoring a little bit on the challenging side for this Elements fight, but shouldn't be too bad now that the levels are all there. And that ding in the ear means we were joined by Plumeria Knight. GG. I think you might be on mute.
I sure am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we've got
There
you
you
now.
are. Yep.
Excellent. Having lots of technical difficulties. That was a fun seed.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah,
flag
really.
sets a nice little change of pace, don't you think?
Yeah, it was a really weird. I don't know, just how everything just kind of worked out, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a little bit less surprise than there is in some flags. I mean, you know where all the bosses are. It's just a case of where are the key items to get to those bosses.
Yes, that's very true. It took a bit of getting used to. my first stop was Sabul, and I was thinking, who's the boss here again?
What'd you think of the early start with double edges just being available? So not even any, the early game was just all gas and no brakes there.
Well, for me, I needed to. It felt like I was gifted a sports car, but I didn't have any gas for it, so I had to go find some gas. Yeah, because he started with like poison claws. If he had started with anything, you know, any knife, it would have been fine. So we just kind of had to lean on flame for the majority of the early stuff, and then found some middles, duped those, and then the Mura showed up like immediately. So then it was, yeah. Then there was no stopping the train.
Yep, those Muras were very nice to see. And to see where we didn't really see a whole lot of powerful weaponry for anybody that anybody really took. I mean, Forge was the Ashura Rod, which was
Yeah.
a little bit disappointing considering nobody really took the time for Palom in this flag set. Which,
Yeah.
when you've got 2 edges and a Rosa, who else do you really need?
Yep, that's the team.
We noticed on your grind, you went and grabbed a handful of sirens and did the egg grind. With that Tella, and knowing that you had to do the giant anyway, was there any temptation to do the machine grind?
No, the sirens are faster, I think, especially if you're not slinging anyone, and with party size 4, you can't sling anyone. The other thing was I thought I could skip CPU, so you know.
Yeah,
that was
whoops.
fun.
No, not on this flag set, but at least CPU is not really a pain there. It just takes a minute or two, and it's not really a danger thing though.
Yeah, guess my Rosa needed that extra XP though, because she doesn't dodge.
No, and she got a little bit low on the one big bang, but
Yeah.
it ended up being fine. I mean, the only thing that was really a concern with that setup is if for some reason you go right in from Big Bang into rocks, but that was avoided, so it was all fine.
Yeah, we actually got the worst wombo, the black hole into rocks, but Rosa was ready with the berserk, so we were fine.
Yeah, well, if all else failed, you could just darted some things. I mean, I know you got rid of the spoon for getting rid of that ruby pretty quick, but
yeah. I wanted to save the animations there. Thought that would be faster than using it on Zeramus.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid thing, especially if you're zerking on Z anyway, so you're not going to spend much time darting. I guess all I was going to ask is, any other thoughts on the flag set or the race in general?
I kind of like the vanilla boss knowledge because you can really plan ahead, and I don't know, it's really interesting to go somewhere and know what you're going to encounter. I think it gives you a leg up.
Especially if you remember where all the vanilla stuff is, especially the vanilla traps.
Yes.
It does take out one of the more annoying features in the sense of you don't get any bosses that are stupidly overpowered because they have stats they were never intended to have.
Right. The other thing I really like about the flag set is the key item requirement conveniently leads to unlocking all the shops. So the pass objective is really inspired. Kudos for that little wrinkle.
Yeah, because I mean, if you forget to shop well, then you remember at some point, oh wait, I need pass. Where's pass? The shops? Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we all haven't gone through looking for all the key item checks of the pass. Like, where is the pass? Then you get to the end of it, it's like, and you check the flags and realize, oh, whoops.
All right, so I think Rybon wants to do an interview too, so I'll finish up. Have you got any last second questions?
Any questions, Vitasia?
No, just one last GG's to you, and thank you for being on the restream for us.
All right, I appreciate it, and GG's to everybody. GG, especially to Rybon, Scarcer on the restream, and everybody else in the race room.
All right, GG again. Have a good night. All right. While we wait for Rybon to come on in, we're Scarcer's getting through the rest of the CPU, and then we'll just be off to do the Ruby in the hook route.
Worth noting while we have a quick pause here, if you like what you saw here or are interested in the free enterprise community at all, feel free to join us over on the Discord. We have a very active Discord with hundreds of members who would love to be able to, if you're interested, just start asking questions, start showing up, and maybe roll up your own seed. Always new people joining, and there's always people willing to ask questions. So join us over on the Discord at any point in time. Meanwhile, it does sound like we are now joined by Rybon. GG, sir.
Hey guys, how's it going? Vitasia, Girin, it's like John Con already, all over again.
Right? Yeah, John Con, but oh my gosh, I don't remember half of that weekend.
John's looking at the channel too, anyways.
Oh, but GG is on the seed. Looks like, second place, of course, not bad. How you feeling after that particular one?
The moment I found that Earth Crystal and Antline, which I faded for like a good 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I'm like, well, I'm in trouble. And it turned out I was definitely in trouble at that point. Yeah, it's a difficult fade. I channeled my inner PK. I did my best to, and it didn't pay out today, but it's what it is.
Yeah, really, about the only difference between you and Flammarian, he had done it earlier, but you had so many checks to make between the two of you. It was just keep on checking. I think really the only difference is he waited to do his grind until after he had 10 key items, stole some sirens, and just kind of cracked a handful of eggs. So it was kind of a much quicker grind. That was really the only difference. Otherwise, everyone was making efficient checks back to back there.
Definitely. If I had found that Earth Crystal earlier, I probably wouldn't have done a number of checks that I had done previously. Wouldn't have done, like, say, because I would have effectively been in go mode. I wouldn't have done, actually, would I have still done Toad Lady? I might have. But I probably wouldn't have done Eblin, for example. And having 10 cams is very efficient. So Plumeria played very well, of course. Had a little bit of trouble as well finding my D machine right. So that took a little bit of time too. But that sometimes happens too. Otherwise, I don't hate the play I made of going to the giant early and knocking my grind out, just because there was always the potential that the last arm chest could have had value, could have been gaining everything. So the longer you delay it, the more terrible it could have been. It was a low percentage play though, so it didn't work out today, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, the big difference was you were early darkness. I think Plumeria didn't get the darkness till he already had 10 kills anyways. So just a case of which would you do first, and sometimes it plays out where early darkness is the key to the whole thing, and sometimes it turns out it isn't always the best.
Yep, it happens, but it was a good scene nonetheless. Very jetty. Plumeria finishing at 105, me a few minutes behind. This flag set can be exceptionally trolly, especially if a key item that you need for go mode is buried in Sylph Cave and you don't have a great way to clear those trap chests over in the poison dungeon. So it ended up being a very, friendly seed today, especially with, Edge starting and Edge partner. This turned into World Series of Darts very quickly.
Yeah, and luckily there were some good darts early on to be found.
That Murasame just waiting in the Fame March freebie was like, oh, well, you can stop looting now. I kept on looting for some reason, but you could have stopped right there if you wanted to.
Yeah, there's no real reason to take Cecil at that point. You have all the darts you need and the Hanzo steel you need, and you had the white mage, so what else did you need?
Yeah, Cecil's kind of a weird character in the seed, or in the flag set. The flag set's designed very well to make Cecil not really that effective because with Super Smith on, you're very unlikely to pull a weapon for him. It's not going to be a guaranteed XCal. You're probably not going to find an XCal or a Crystal Sword anywhere in the seed, so he is officially worse than Edge, which is quite the accomplishment for a flag set.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a crystal sword somewhere, but the odds you're gonna find it easily, not that great.
Yeah, probably not in a check we're looking for at the very least. Maybe up on the moon somewhere, maybe in a trap chest, but we ain't gonna find it otherwise. So, yeah, we got a very friendly party. Did Plumeria Knight pretty much go with the same party? Double Edge, Rosa, and Tele Anchor?
It was the same party, almost the exact same levels too.
Yeah, I think many people would go with that particular setup. The game just gave you your party off the bat and no reason to check additional checks like Hobbs or Waterway or even Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, because with the free characters on, I mean, you pretty much should have the party you want, just with the starting characters, maybe Mysidia, Watery if you want to check that, and then yeah, the James and Cast because you have to launch the Falcon anyways.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts on the sea. What else you guys got?
I was going to ask you to do us a favor for posterity's sake. During
Are we
your
checking the harp?
No.
Anyway. Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to check the harp, that's perfectly fine too. But I also wanted you to explain the importance on the D machine grind. You were casting fast on Tella and then slow on your edges. And you know, we explained it on stream. It's to help keep the party order more consistent. But do you have a more technical explanation, just to make sure if any sprouts that are out there watching, maybe to get a little bit more knowledge on the game there?
Well, you pretty much hit the main theme. It's about keeping your party order consistent. You don't want anyone overlapping Tella, because if you are triggering a D machine and Tella's turn isn't next, you're taking not one but multiple fires, which could really sap the amount of time you're spending on the D machine grind, because you have to spend more time healing as a result. Edge is naturally fast, Tella is naturally slow, so in ways to try to adjust the agility setup or the speed setup for your party, slow and fast are very good spells. Double fast on Tella, and the fact that I had two Murasames on both of the edges meant that they were already a little slower. I think Murasame, they're like -3 or -5 agility apiece. So one slow was enough to keep the party pretty much in order, which made the D machine grind very efficient, I think. It was just very predictable how the fight would actually go on, so I had no worries whatsoever of multiple fires coming out, or, you know, Edge going quicker than Tella and happening to, you know, hit the D machine before the week came out, resulting in potentially a dead Tella, which is kind of a wipe. So yeah, it's all about trying to minimize the risk from that grind when you're actually doing the fight.
And that's been your Tech Talk Hour, brought to you by Rybon. Thank you so much, Rybon.
Yes. Now, people far more technical than me will know exactly how many slows to cast and how many fast to cast. I just do it by feel. I have no idea, and luckily it works out most of the time.
It's always better to have a good internal calculator instead of actually having to think of the math on stream.
Yeah, let's not do math.
We're actually not allowed to do math on stream. I think those are the rules that I read somewhere.
Yeah, my dog, however, is very good at math. I asked him one day, what was 2 minus 2, and he said nothing.
Genius. Genius.
Ching. Anyway.
Yeah, so I guess any final thoughts before we let you go and get on with the rest of your evening?
No, it's a very good flag set. Thank you both, Vitasia, Girin, for providing what I'm sure is fantastic commentary. GG to Plumeria, Joker, Mage, Maggie, thank you for pushing the buttons and running the restream in the back. And yeah, looking forward to the next community race, which I think is going to be next Friday, not this Friday, right?
The next restreamed one. There is a race still on Friday,
right.
Just won't be on restream.
All right, restreamed one, right. So looking forward to whatever the flag set is next week. But I'm sure, you know, the team will put together something very interesting and very good. But yeah, I'm off. Y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks again.
GG, and yeah, have a good night. Yeah, so while Scarcer is on his way to take on Z, just a reminder that this flag set will be run one more time for the community race on Friday night at 10 Eastern. Not going to be restreamed, but if you like this flag set and want to give it a try, it's a maybe a less stressful way to get introduced to it because there won't be the hassle of or the pressure of a restream.
Absolutely. Worth pointing out as well, there are other restreams that are going to be going on this week as well. On Thursday evening, we do have the Pink Puff League, which is the best way to describe it. It's not quite beginners league, but the design for the Pink Puff League is anyone who's not had a whole lot of tournament experiences, still just kind of dipping their toes into the whole speed running thing. To expose themselves to various flag sets within the free enterprise community, and dip your toe in before major tournaments end up coming through. So we will be having a Pink Puff League race this Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern. That will be restreamed right here on the Free Enterprise channel. And then also here on Free Enterprise this Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern is another community race, Mom Spaghetti Club, which has been known to have some shenanigans in it, I think is an easy way to do it. It's one of my community clubs personally that I run, and it's designed to just go fast. We've had 10-minute streaks before. We've had others that have lasted, hour and a half, but they are designed to go very fast and make everyone very nervous because there's lots of randomness that happens.
Yes, I think that club has the largest time variance between seed finish of any club that we have.
Yeah, it's some 10-minute seeds and some hour and a half finishes, and that's fine. It's designed to be easily accessible by anyone, but also kind of push the limits of what is available in order to get through as quickly as you can. So, very fun seed, but that one is at 3 o'clock Eastern here on the Free Enterprise channel as well. Of course, lots of other community clubs and other events going on that aren't necessarily streamed. Again, join us over on the Discord. Lots of things going on over at the Discord during our club season. Yeah, and we love to have new people come in and just hang out and introduce themselves. So feel free to join us over. Tell them that I sent you, and maybe well, everyone's treated fine, but if you say that I sent you, maybe you're not treated as well. So maybe don't say that.
All they do is just say that they want some spaghetti.
Yeah, if all you say is like, I'm here for my helping of spaghetti, and they point you in the direction, be like, it's that way. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Scarcer did find the pass, and is now going to be off to Z. So while we're waiting for Z to come up, just again, a thanks to Joker Mage, our restreamer tonight, and also thanks to you, Vitasia, for hanging out with me in the booth and commenting on this fairly nice Jetty seed, and also to Maggie the cat for pushing all the buttons tonight, definitely not eating them unlike some other people who will remain nameless.
I don't know. That's a community meme unto itself now, eating the buttons, which only one person has ever been officially accused and has admitted to doing. So they shall remain nameless, but they know who they are.
This is why you never admit anything.
Deniability all the way. Meanwhile, Scarcer did have to go around and he had not found the pass yet, so took some time, checked the shops, like, oh, it's in the last possible shop that I think he checked.
Well, not quite the last possible one. There is still the troll of it being on the moon shop, I think.
Oh, true.
It's always fun because, especially on this flag set, there is only one reason you will ever go to the moon. Well, there's two possible reasons. One is you're checking lunar dive because you haven't found any character you like for your fourth slot yet. The other reason is that hairdryer chest, which is the one only thing on the moon that could possibly be getting anything.
Scarcer at a little bit higher levels than Plumeria and Rybon were. Also, Tella gained a few levels throughout that entire process as well. So, not a ton, but enough.
Yeah, meanwhile, apparently the pass must be a pet because the naming scheme is basically saying down pass down. And then whatever is that thing with the 93 thing.
Oh my! This zero misses fast.
Yeah, Scarcer is going to take a reset to consider that problem. Turn your battle speed down to 3, Scarcer. I think that's what your problem might be.
Now he's charging right in.
I mean, Tella's agility is only 8, so I mean, it shouldn't be that bad of a problem, but if he's left the battle speed on 1, I mean, 1 is very fast.
That was a couple shakes, and before anyone else got anything off, that Big Bang came out. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at least if this still ends up being bad, he can always go back to the Tower of Wishes and trade that Tella for somebody else. Like a Palom. Palom is nice and slow if he hasn't got any levels.
All right, round 2 for Scarcer. Let's see if this goes a little bit smoother.
All right, round 2, fight! That is 2 shakes before the crystal. Okay. All right, and LeBlancmas is back up and ready to go. And there will be some cutlery thrown Z's way.
That spoon is amazing. How does Tella get a wall off up before Rosa? Uh-oh.
Oh, Rosa's white.
Casting white. Okay. I thought Rosa was... Okay.
Yeah, direct casting onto LeBlancmas. So that's going to be the way that... Oh, yeah, that cuts a week off. And also, fun fact, apparently, he does not care about your wall. Bounce
That
slow
was
off
interesting. Yeah, it bounced slow. It's going to bounce off. Yeah. Okay.
I think the developers at least thought of that one, Aaron Moore. It's a well-programmed game in a lot of respects, but I'm pretty sure they took care of that one.
if a reflected counter weak worked on Z, that would be the #1 speed run strategy for this boss. And there would be no just fighting through it. That would be what everyone would have to do, just about every time.
Yeah. Plus, it would have appeared somewhere in Nintendo Power many, many years ago if that was possible, so... Those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, 90s were a fun time.
We're going to put fun in air quotes there.
Come on, who didn't like the cheesy comics in Nintendo Power?
Cheesy comics and Nintendo Power. The fact that a pseudo commencement speech was a legitimate top 10 music hit in the United States. Called the Sunscreen Song. The 90s were weird, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, so, I mean, the strategy guides for Final Fantasy IV back in the early 90s, I actually had a few of those. I mean, the strategies they would suggest for this fight were, they'd make anybody who has any experience with this randomizer kind of laugh. I mean, I swear that...
Make sure to always cast your big spells like Bahamut and Newt as often as you can.
No, I mean, I think the strategy for Z was literally have Rydia cast Shura at every turn.
She's the best white mage 66% of the time.
A lot of professions, 66% would be a nice batting average. When it's life and death, it's not a great thing.
Baseball player, great average, Hall of Fame average. Pilot, not so much.
Yeah, I really like to be on a plane with a pilot who successfully lands 2 out of 3 times, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's not my idea of the pilot I want to go to now.
Would you go if the ticket was only $1?
You know, anything that I could answer in this regard is too morbid for this restream. It is a community restream. We are family friendly here. Scarsor, meanwhile, has rocks.
Yes, and it looks like that's the correct and boom. So that is the end of the Blancmas. GG. And we'll see if we can get Scarsor in here for a quick interview. And that ding in the ear says we're joined by Scarsor. GG.
Thank you. GG.
So before I get to anything else, I just have to ask, what is the naming scheme logic?
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer, and there's 93,000 hit points and elements.
Okay, well, there we go. I thought you were trying to treat Tella like a free pass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually quite fortunate that I named him that, because he reminded me that I did need to go and buy the pass at some point.
Yep, and we told you about checking shops at the very end. You did remember the whole way through that you needed to go for the shops, right?
I did know it was P Shop. I did remember that.
Okay. But you were just a little bit curious because it seemed like sometimes you were trying to avoid the shopping, and it's like, well, okay, the pass is going to have to be bought somewhere, though.
Yeah, I actually forgot that I needed to buy the pass until I got a Tella.
Ah, okay. So overall, what was your thoughts of the seed?
It was fun. It was jetty. I suppose doing a D machine to get Rosa to Life 4 or Cure 4 wasn't necessarily the quickest option.
It was an option that 2 out of 3 on the stream took. You and Rybon both did D Money, and Plumeria had done Sirens. Just by virtue
Sirens.
of, you have Edge, you can steal them, and
steal them.
he had 10 key items before he really had to consider whether to do D Money or not, and decided, nope, I have 10 key items, I have Edge, we're doing Sirens.
All right.
So we saw you spend some time down in the Sylph Cave. Could you explain what your thought was going for the Sylph Cave?
The pan. I had to turn in the pan.
Okay, so the
Yeah, with just the pan and the Toad Lady chest.
Toad Lady was just
Oh,
basically
yeah, the Toad
on the
Lady.
way.
Yeah, it was. Because, this could be darkness. Because in Potion Party, there were several seeds where darkness was in Sylph.
Yes, unfortunately, nothing was down in Sylph tonight. It's something that needed for the seed completion.
Yeah. This is a fun flag set. I've had a lot more fun with this flag set than it had on its face. I suppose a number of guaranteed edges in G-Dupe is always a time.
Well, and I think knowing where your bosses are lends itself, at first blush, makes it seem less exciting maybe, but overall, still enough randomization to really make you question kind of different decisions at different points. So, still a fun seed overall.
Well, once again, GG. And, big thanks to all of y'all for putting the show on.
Yeah, and thanks for agreeing to be restreamed. Can't do a restream without people to be restreamed.
It's always a hoot. Y'all have a wonderful night.
All right, GG, and have a great night. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for tonight's community race. I believe we're being told that we're going to be rating RPG Limit Break after this race is over with, so feel free to stick around and hop over there with the raid. And anything else, Matasia, before we wrap it up here?
No, just want to give one last shout out to all of our featured runners, Scarcer, Plumeri Knight, and Rybon. Thank you all for committing to that. Also to the folks behind the scenes, Joker Mage and Maggie the Cat, as well as you, Garen, for doing the commentary with me. Always a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, it's been fun. Hope we get to do it again sometime soon. Maybe at the JohnCon 2 reunion, which John may not know it, but I'm sure it's coming up at some point soon.
Yeah, John doesn't know it, but it's happening. And we're just like 30 people are just going to show up at his house at some point, and it's going to happen. Sorry, John. Oh, but other than that, we are going to send everyone over to RPG Limit Break. It looks like they're in the middle of a Dragon Warrior race. Otherwise, thank you from all of us here at the Free Enterprise community. We'll see you guys at the next race. Take care.